This is the main model and the main page of Tesla site. So before we will create some test cases, let's just take a look on the site and take a look on the functionality. So let's together choose what to test. Custom order, what is it? Okay, it's loading. And we see that beautiful white Tesla car. And we could see a lot of options on the right. We can choose a model. And then we can choose the color of our car. Let it be like blue, why not? Beautiful, I think. Wheels. That sport wheels are the default variant for this particular model, and we can choose another. Interior, by default, it is black, but if you prefer the white one, you can choose white. Okay, and you will pay extra $1,000. Enhanced Autopilot, we can add it, and full self-driving capability. Some feature is coming soon. Charging, of course, we can choose wall connector here or mobile connector or both. And our price is changing with choosing some additional options for our car. So our Model 3 now costs $4,000 plus. Okay, so we made some choice here. We added some options, and we of course gonna continue to payment. Okay, we see that summary here on the next page, and order with card. What do we have? We have enter account details. So we don't have an account, and we cannot buy a car without an account. We can, of course, enter our details and our data here on this page, but I think it is not very convenient for us because probably this is not our last Tesla. We're gonna buy more and more Teslas here. So it makes sense to create an account, not instead of entering account details here. So how can we create an account? Let's return here. Probably to the main page here, tesla.com, and we have the account functionality here. And we see that it's like very traditional functionality. We can enter our data here, or we can create an account. So since it is a traditional functionality, it is very simple, and I think everybody of you at least once created the account on some site. So why don't we test the functionality right now? Why don't we make our testing a bit more scientific and create some plan before we start testing of the account? Okay, let's forget about this page for one time, and let's switch here. What is that? It is not so complicated thing, guys, because this is a test management system, and simply saying, this is the system where we can store our requirements for the software, test cases, our steps, how to test the software, and some reports. What was the result of our testing? So requirements, it is not for today's stream. We are not interested in requirements right now. Let's think about the test design. Let's think about our plan, how to test our Tesla site. We're gonna test the account functionality. And what should we do here in this test management system? We have some folder here named Tesla. And in this folder, we will store our test cases. Let's create a new one. And let's think about what can we do with our account. Let's return to the site and press create account. And what can we see here? This is a set of fields with market, language, the user data, and email address, and some password. Okay. We have some characters in the picture here, like always. But what is the most interesting field here? Because we have a pretty short stream today, and we will not test everything about our account. We're gonna concentrate on some very interesting field. Which field is more interesting? What do you think? As for me, the most interesting field here is the email address, because this is pretty standard, and we don't need some additional requirements from our customer to describe how our email address will look like. Because again, this is a pretty standard thing. We can read about the email address, for example, in Wikipedia or on pretty many sites around and at the internet. And we, I think, know how our email address can look like. So let's plan to test our email address. And what can we think about our email address? Let's describe our test case. This is the title. If you saw our previous stream, you probably remembered the rules about how to name test case, how to describe test case, how to describe steps inside the test case. But if you didn't, I will repeat shortly how we should fill all that information about the test case. So this is a title. Title should be short and informative together, because in 2 or 3 months or in a year of our project, we will have a lot of test cases, like 1,000 or several thousand even. So we should have an informative name. Okay, email, correct email. Let it be account, new account email, new account email, correct email. And in brackets, like validated and working. So this is a real email that could be validated. Here in the description, we could put some additional information about this case, but it is not so interesting because we are going to add steps here. How to create an account with the correct email, because we're gonna create an account. Our goal right now is not just enter the email, but to create an account. So what is the first step? Let's check here. We should select market, we should select language, and then enter first name, last name, and the email address and a password. So select a market. This is our first step. Select a language. Enter first and last names. Enter a correct working email. And enter a password. Okay, and the most important step here is create an account. Click create account button. And here we should write what is expected. It is obvious for this particular test case because we are creating an account, so the account with a great probability should be created after performing all that steps. So we should put here the expected result. Account is created. And pay attention, please. The account is created. It is not the end of our test case because we should check that the account is working. It is not our goal to just create an account and put this account to somewhere to the databases or somewhere else, because we should create an account that will be working for us. So we should check the work of our account. The account is created and the account could be used. Two expected results here. It is not mandatory to put the expected result for every step right now for this particular test case because we will not check the working of every field here. So market is selected, language is selected, and it is possible to enter first and last name, but it is not very interesting because our test case is not for it. Our test case is for checking how the account is created and could we use this account after it has been created. Okay, this is our test case and we should save it for the future. It is saved successfully here in the folder. And I would propose to create one more test case with some incorrect data. And I gonna open a secret that there are some typical defects that we could find when we are testing the email field. And one of that typical defect is trim spaces before and after the email. Because a lot of systems, a lot of sites are not validating the emails if we have space before or after the email. I don't know if Tesla is validating that spaces or not, but I know about that very typical bug, and I gonna create a special test case to check if it is working for Tesla or not. So, how to describe this test case? New account email, this is the same. account email, spaces around the email. Let it be like that. Some description, okay, we miss it. And we have the same steps actually, and I will not add the same steps here because I think it is not very interested for you and not very excited. And I gonna add only 2 last steps here. Enter the correct working email with a space before and after the email, and create click a create account button, and account is created, account could be used. The same expected result here, because such email should be validated. We have just space before and after the email, but it should not impact the validation. This is the rule, but it is a typical defect. So we have 2. Okay, we should save the second one. And now we've got 2 new test cases. One test case is for so-called happy pass. This is a correct working email without any edge cases, steps around, and so on. And another one is not so happy, because this is about some typical bug that could be met in a lot of sites and in a lot of software that allow to create account for the user. So we have a little plan right now, and let's switch to create account page here and check the first test case, happy path. Okay, so pay attention that I'm not entering some real data here, because our purpose is to create account with some data that could be validated, not with the real data. So I will not put my name here and my last name here and my email address here. This is just for the test, how we can create a Tesla account. Okay, and what can we see here? We missed that step. By creating a Tesla account, I understand and agree to Tesla's privacy notice and terms of use. So we should, I think, mark this to create an account. Okay. And another step that we missed, we should enter these characters in the picture and create an account. Email account already exists. Oh, really? Okay, so let it be a bit different. For HDH, create account. Enter a password. Okay, let it be suggested. Why not? This is a password from Chrome. CTY5N. This is the symbols from the picture. And create account. Yeah, this is it. The account is created. So what should we do right now? We did checked this first test case with correct email, validated working email. And we should update this test case because we saw that we missed 2 fields. We should update it. And okay, we should enter 2 new steps. Mark, I agree. I will not. And enter the characters from the picture. Okay. And we should okay. So we updated our test case and we now know that it is working. So what about the other? What about spaces around the email? So account. We should sign out from the previous one before we signed out. Okay, and we're gonna create some other account on Tesla side. So what we are doing right now, we are doing absolutely the same except the email. So we are checking how this particular field is working, and we are not interested in the other fields right now. So we can have the same first and last name and some password. The same, why not? And we enter in the same here, and we enter in the characters in the shown in the picture. And this is our goal for this test case email address. So let's have some other email, and let's have spaces before and after the email. Check again, space here and space in the end of the email. What do you think? What will happen right now? So 1, 2, 3, create account. Oh, we've got it. Guys, we've got a bug on Tesla side. We cannot create an account with absolutely valid email. And right now, just to understand how this defect is serious for the customer, just imagine a regular person, a guy or a girl who want to buy a Tesla. And what this person is doing, she is creating an account, and she just forgot about the space in the beginning of the email address, just occasionally pressed the space on the keyboard, and then she entered the absolutely valid email address, and she cannot create an account to buy Tesla. And since she cannot create an account, she cannot buy Tesla. And Tesla will lose money. So this is a serious bug. It looks like very silly because just spaces are not trimmed, but it is a serious bug because Tesla is losing money. Somebody will reject buying Tesla because of this defect. So since it is serious, since we found it right now, we can create this defect somewhere. We have rights for it. And I can tell more. We should do it. We must do it because the defect is serious. So this is Jira. This is a typical software that about 80%, I think, software companies use right now for saving requirements and defects. And I pressed the button create to create a defect. And here we have some fields to be filled for the defect. So I will describe all that fields shortly for you. Summary. This is pretty the same like for the test case because the summary should be short but informative. What happened, why it is happened, where it is happened. So we should describe it in the summary. And let's try to do it. What has happened? We entered spaces before and after the email, and it is not working. We should make a bit of localization. What is a localization of a defect? We should think about the direct, strict condition of a defect. In this particular case, will it work if we enter the space before, only before the email, or only after the email? Or it is not working just in case of having a space before and a space after the email. So let's make some localization. Let's delete the space before the email and press the create account button again. Aha, it is working. Enter a password. Here, let it be a password. And so the space after is working well. What about the space before only? Right now we have the space before the email, but we don't have space here after the email. Is it working? Create account. Okay, it is working. We have capture is required. Let's check again if we can create an account. Enter a password. Okay. Okay, I will enter a password here and capture again. So create account. Aha. If we have a space before, it is not working. And it doesn't matter if we have space after the email or not. So this is the reason, the space before the email. And again, to be sure, we removed space before and we create space, enter space after. And let's check again. Capture doesn't match, but we don't have the message here. Email is valid. So after some little localization, we understood that the reason of our defect is not the space after the email, but the space before the email. And we should write it to the summary of our defect. So how to describe the defect? New account creation, because we should describe where we were when we found the defect. If a space before a valid email is entered, the email is recognized as not valid. Like that. It is not the only variant of description, of course, but it is one of the correct variants. How to describe it in informative way, but in some short way. Description. Here in the description, we should make step-by-step description. So we should add our steps here. And to make our life easier, we could switch here. And okay, let's take that steps. Copy and paste here. Okay, it created a table, but this is the okay. We could just step by step. Okay, so we could copy step by step from here. Select a market. Then select the language. Then enter first and last name, because we had such test case. We had such plan how to test our Tesla account. Enter a correct working email. And add a space before the email. Fill the rest of the fields and click create account. And since we are describing a defect, we should add expected result and actual result here. What has been expected by us when we check this case? Probably we expected that our account would be created. Yes, account is created and could be used, like in our test case. Yes, but actual result was different. Actual result was error message about invalid email under the field. To be more precise, we could put this message here. Okay. Sorry. Let's make it more visible for everybody. And after entering some information here, I think we could skip it for now. We are creating a new defect. And view issue. Let's see how does it look like for us. Okay, we have a new defect, and I think we definitely should send this defect to Elon Musk. Okay. I think he will be very sad about that, and will produce a command to the developers team to fix it immediately. So what did we do in our first part of the stream? We saw some functionality of the Tesla site, and we understood that it is impossible to buy Tesla without creating an account. So we kept in mind that this functionality is probably very, very important for the producer, for the developer and customer. And we decided to make some testing of this functionality. But before the testing, we made some little plan. And our plan included 2 test cases only. One of them was a happy path, so some smoke test, some pretty similar testing of the functionality. Is it working or not? And another one was the description of some typical situation with email in different accounts on different sites. Spaces around the email. And then after creating that little plan, we switched to our site and we tested according that 2 test cases. The first case, very simple, happy path, worked for us, but the second one didn't, because we found a bug connected with spaces before and after the email. And since it didn't work, we created a defect here in Jira about what was the situation, what was the error, and what we did to repeat this situation, and what a developer should do to reproduce the situation before fixing it. The bug is unassigned, but pay attention, don't pay attention here. Our bug includes the description, short and informative enough. Title, sorry, the description step by step how to reproduce the situation, what was expected in this situation, and what was the actual result in this situation. And we can see from the defect that we have a discrepancy between expected and actual result. And so this is it, I think, about that simple testing of the Tesla site. What I gonna show you today more, because okay, the create account functionality is popular enough, but I think it is boring. So let's try to do something with our custom Tesla car. Design your Model 3 Tesla. So let's imagine that we are real testers working for Tesla, and our goal right now is to test all that combinations of parameters. for model 3. What do we have again? Let's take a look. Okay, we are testing that particular model 3. And we can choose 1 out of 5 different variant of paint: white, silver, blue, black, and red. 2 different wheels, that or that. 2 different variants of interior: black, all black, or black and white. And that enhanced autopilot or that full self-driving capability. Let's check that. We can choose either this one or that one. Let's add full self-driving capability, and this enhanced autopilot is removed. And charging, we can check both, or one of them, or nothing. And now just count how many combinations do we have here. We should test everything, and probably we should check that price and this price and this price. How is it counting? Is it right or not? Is the picture here is according to what we choose here? Like blue here, and blue car should be shown here. And wheels, we are choosing some wheels here, and the picture displaying appropriate wheels. Interior, the same, picture should be appropriate. And again. So how many combinations of all that parameters, all that options do we have? And how much time will it take for us? So we have 160 combinations. And the test of every combination will take us, I think, 5 minutes as a minimum. And you can multiply 5 minutes into 160. How much time will it take for us? And this particular page, guys, is a great, spectacular illustration of one interesting method of testing, method of planning testing, not the testing itself, but planning testing, so-called test design. This method called pairwise. What is the idea? Scientists made some investigation and understood that the defects are not the reason of combination of many parameters, many options. So if, for example, the car here will not be blue, and instead of that it will be red, and it will be a defect because we marked blue here, and the car should be blue as well. So if the car will be red in this situation, the reason of that will be not a combination of all that parameters: paint and wheels and interior and autopilot and maybe charging type. That will be a combination of some 2 parameters. So the reason of that defect will be because we chose black interior, and, for example, wall connector charging. And if we will have other two parameters as in a combination, it will be working well. And that was according to the investigation of scientists. So what is it, and why is it good for us as testers? Because we could create combinations of two parameters only and check every combination of every two parameters with each other, not without created all the combinations, all 160 combinations. We could create the combination of every two parameters with each other, and it will be enough to cover everything with tests. So this is a great illustration of that method, how to test all the options for Tesla. So what should we do to create that pairs of combination? Why is it called pairwise? Because we are talking about pairs of options. What should we do? We, I think, cannot create all that pairs in our brain, in our mind, because it is hard to do it, at least fast. Maybe you are very clever, maybe you are a genius and you can count everything in your mind, but it is not about me, and it is not about most of testers. And that's why, of course, some clever people created an algorithm, special algorithm, how to make that pairs. And not only the algorithm, but a special software for creating that pairs. And I'm gonna show you one of that special type of software. It is very popular, and it's called PICT. You can try it online as well, and I'm gonna put that link under this video after the stream. So what do we have here? We have an example. I think I will delete this one because this is not about our Tesla. What do we have in this example? We have options and values for the option. So let's create the same for our Tesla site. What do we have? Again, we have paint. This is the option. Okay. Let's create paint here. And what options, what values for this option do we have? White, silver, blue, black, red. Let's use only the first letters to make it more simple. White, silver, blue, black, and red. Okay, what else? What can we choose for our new beautiful Tesla? Wheels. So we have only two types of wheels: spot wheels or that Aero wheels. Wheels. Spot. And Aero. Interior, all black or black and white. Okay. Our new option. Black. Okay, B. Or B and W, black and white. And Autopilot. Autopilot or self-driving, full self-driving capability. So where is PICT? Okay. Autopilot. We can choose either enhanced or self-driving capability. Let it be SDC, self-driving capability. And the charger, as far as I remember. Wall or mobile. So what did we do? We took all that options with variants of every option, and we put it here in the online tool. This is the name of the option, one by one, and that the variants of the option, the colors, variants of wheels, variants of interior, variants of autopilot, and variants of charger. And now we're gonna ask that PICT tool to create that pair combinations for us, just to make our life easier. We will not count everything in our mind, and we will not test all the combinations. We will test only the pairs. So let's press that button, generate, and we have that table. I'm gonna make it maybe more readable. Interior is long enough, and autopilot and charger. Generate again. Now it is readable. So what do we have in that right part of the screen, right field? We have the combinations of every variant with every variant. Let's check. For example, let's find the combination of white car with black and white interior. Do we have that combination? Okay, white car and black and white interior. So is it combined, for example, silver color with enhanced autopilot? Do you have that combination? Yes, silver with enhanced autopilot. What about silver with self-driving capabilities? Silver, self-driving capabilities. Yes, we have that combination. So every option is combined with every option according to the algorithm of that tool. And we have only 20 variants of tests. And we covered everything. We test everything. Doing only 20 tests, not, do you remember, 160? The same result, but the time is much less that for all the combinations. So this is the very interesting method of testing. It's called pairwise again, and it could be used when you have, like here, when you have a lot of combinations of options for some software. And you can use it everywhere for some software with a lot of fields, for some software with some complicated configuration, for the configuration of your operating system, for everything. But here again, we had a beautiful illustration how to use it for Tesla. And I will put the link to the description of this stream. And I think I will put that result here as well. And you can choose every combination and you can try it at home. So welcome. I think it will be interesting for you. And I think after this stream, the testing looks interesting for you as well. And that's all for now. It was very nice to spend the evening with you today, and have a nice evening. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.